Hello and welcome back to Grim Survival. It is Monday, July 20th, 2020. Yes, I looked at the date before I made the video because I really didn't remember. I knew it was July something, but yeah, no clue. As you can see, I'm sitting in a four-door car. This is not a semi-truck, unfortunately. Well, not really. I don't really like driving semi-trucks anymore. It's really become a very stressful thing for me, and yeah, somebody's going to end up getting killed if I keep doing it, so prefer not to. But that's not the point of the video. Today, I'm talking about bugging in, and basically, what I used the most while I was bugging in over the past several months. I'm holding this phone with a selfie stick, so yeah, if it shakes a lot, my fault. So yeah, let's talk about bugging in. For anybody who doesn't know what bugging in means, it's basically, I guess the easiest way to explain it is think of like old medieval castle movies where everybody goes into the wall, they shut the door, they bring all their food and provisions inside, they keep, the enemy army from coming in and taking their stuff, basically. That's bugging in. Really, that's the basic concept of what preppers would call bugging in. We bring everything into our, our central location, and we stay inside. We don't go nowhere. We just bug in. Defend and fortify, basically. That's not really been an issue, defending and fortifying currently. But yeah, give it some time. If you watch the news or see what's been going on, obviously certain places probably need to defend and fortify, businesses in main cities and things like that. But that's not the point of the video. Bugging in. So what did I use the most while I was bugging in? The answer is really quite simple. It's water. I use more water than anything, more water than food. But, that's to be expected. You gotta maintain a basic level of hygiene, but of course we still had running water during all this, so it's not something we had to worry about for hygiene. But just using water on your daily basis for cooking, for eating, for drinking, that's what we use the most of. You're talking hundreds, if not thousands of gallons. What do they say? An average of 1 gallon per person per day is on average. You can get away with a lot less than that if you're not really worried about hygiene, but yeah, if you don't stink too bad, forego washing yourself that day. It's not a bad thing. But that's not the point of the video. Water is what we use the most. So basically, prepping water. It's really the hardest thing to prep. It's really hard to prep water. It takes up so much space. It's heavy. It's really heavy. I mean, if you stack too much water in your house, in your living room, it's going to come through your floor eventually. The weight is it's really heavy. I cannot over exaggerate that. I mean, it's just really heavy. It really is. I have a gallon of water I carry in my bug out bag, and during the winter it weighs 35 to 40 pounds. In the summer probably still weighs 25 to 30 pounds, or maybe 35 depending on where I'm going, because I do change the items in it depending on where I'm going. I'm currently sitting in a parking lot waiting in a car, and yeah, if people are walking by and driving by, that's why. It's bothering me too, believe me. Yeah, I'm facing the wrong way too. I should be facing that way because there's a building in front of me. It's bad procedure. But situational awareness, make sure there's no riots or protests happening near me. There's not, but it's the things you have to look out for now is riots and protesters. I seen we're going to digress here, but I seen a couple of truck drivers running through crowds of people that were blocking the road in protest. And who do you agree with, the truck driver or the crowd of people? I agree with the truck driver personally, because if you're standing in the middle of an interstate highway and you get run over, that's your fault. There's signs posted, no walking, no standing. If you're standing in the middle of an interstate highway, you get run over. Yeah, I mean, it's your fault. Now, whether the law sees it that way is yet to be determined. But anyway, back to bugging in. Sorry about the camera movement. It's not easy with this selfie stick. But bugging in. Water is what we use the most. Water, water, water. I cannot tell you enough to prep water. 50-gallon drums, rain catch systems. It's really easy to build a rain catch. You don't need a gutter or a house to do it. You can do it with a couple of pallets. Some pallets and some tarps. Basically, you make a box out of your pallets and you use your tarps, making sure they don't have a hole in it, and make a big bowl inside of it. It will catch dew, it'll catch rainwater. Maybe I'll try to build one and show you one day soon if I have time. Don't count on me having time. Alright, so bugging in water is your number one. Number two, obviously, food supplies. We ran out of paper goods, and I'm not meaning paper towel or toilet paper like everyone else did when this started. That was just stupid. We didn't run out of toilet paper, paper towel. What we ran out of were the disposable utensils and disposable plates and cups. Those we go through so quickly, especially if you're cooking every meal and you don't want to, waste water and clean up. Like I said, we did still have running water. We still tried to, it was a good test of what it is going to be when you really need to bug in. Now, it was obvious to me that this pandemic and everything wasn't as bad as they were making it out to be. That'll be another video. We won't go into all that. There's no point to it. But it was obvious to me in the beginning that it wasn't going to be as bad. Now, the toilet paper shortages and the protests and everything that's going on is just on top of the fact. But for the most part, you can still go to the store. You can still go to the fast foods, and you can still go through the drive-thrus and get your food. You still can to this day, most places. There are limits, though. There are food shortages happening, meat shortages mostly, which I covered in many videos last year. Was completely expected. So freezers full of meat was, yeah. Anyway, paper goods and water. That's what I'm going to tell you you're probably going to need the most. Paper goods and water, because that's what you use the most. Now, if you don't have enough food, for paper goods to be eating, buy food before you buy your paper plates and forks and stuff. Disposable and reusable, two very different concepts, two very different things. Reusable, still, if you're worried about hygiene and you don't know proper sanitation, reusable, how you're going to clean it. It's going to use water. It's going to use that. So unless you have a water source on your property, if you are lucky enough to live next to a pond, a river, a creek, whatever, and you can go out and wash your clothing and wash your dishes in the creek, then yeah, that's awesome. If you don't have that ability, what are you going to do? I mean, you're going to throw away all your disposables, then you're going to be left with your reusables, but if you have no water to clean it because you're saving your water to drink with, what are you going to do when you break out your Mountain House meal and you have the spaghetti and meatballs stuck all over your only fork? I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to scrub it with your fingers. You got to have water. You got to store water. Now, a good thing to do right now is take all of your, if you drink milk, I don't, but if you do, take all of your old milk jugs, all of your old plastic containers, even these things, fill them up with sink water. Clearly mark them that they're sink water, because sink water is not something you really want to drink, even right now with sanitation and the supposed, yeah, just don't drink that stuff. It's nasty, unless you have it well. Anyway, water. Yeah, I'm getting off the subject here. We could talk about coronavirus. We could talk about bugging in. We could talk about how much ammunition you need. But from my experience, when you're trying to stay in your house for several months, the thing you used the most was water. Alright, my phone, as usual, interrupted my video. That's something that commonly happens. My phone. Oh, this is like the second or third new phone I've had since the last video I made. Well, not since the last video, because I put one out a couple days ago, but yeah, this year this is the second or third. Me and phones are not getting along lately. This is still a Note 10, has a very good camera, still using the external microphone, but that's beside the point. Water. Fill up all of your old containers with water. Mark it sink water. Don't drink it. I mean, if you have to, try to sanitize it. I mean, you can technically still drink sink water. It's just what you're drinking along with it is really nasty. And I have a video on that. It's somewhere. Go find it if you care. But yeah, water is your most important thing. Food obviously is going to be second. And this is basic prepper. I mean, any prepper is going to know this. This is just basic preps. Water and food. Duh. Water, food, and ammunition is what most preppers are going to tell you the first things you need. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end this video because I don't know how long it has been, because I'm going to have to now try to edit it with my phone and splice them together because, yeah. Thanks, technology. We appreciate you. Anyway, this has been Grim Survival. Remember, it is grim out there. It's not getting any better. If you're not prepping now, you're behind. Get to it, because you need to be. See you later.